And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video game review, and today we are reviewing an all-time classic video game. And it is none other than Donkey Kong Country. Truly revolutionary and truly very well beloved game from the Super Nintendo, released in 1994. It wasn't the first Donkey Kong game, but it was one of the first with the platforming and the Donkey Kong that we would come to know and love through the rest of the 90s, into the 2000s, and even into the 2010s. And it really helped revolutionize the image of Donkey Kong as one of Nintendo's greatest properties, even more than it was in the 80s when it began. But yes, it was released on the Super Nintendo. Picked this game up at our local game store for a pretty good price. They also had the second and third one there, Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. We didn't get those because we wanted to try this one out. And after playing this game, though, I am second guessing possibly getting them. Let's get some thoughts. Let's talk about it. I don't know if this was a problem with me or the Super Nintendo, but I didn't like having to watch the intro segment twice before playing, before I could do anything in the game, especially since the game crashed more than not, and I would have to reset the thing, and I have to watch it again. It's a fun intro segment. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just, it can get repetitive, and it's just, you don't like having to watch an intro segment multiple times just to play the fucking game, But, that's just a little nitpick here. The graphics in this game, though, this is a Super Nintendo game. Lion King's graphics were great. I think that's by far one of the better graphical games on this SNES that I've seen. But this was second, if not first, in graphical quality. It is really, really, really good, and it's amazing how well Nintendo was able to do with everything that's going on here. It's really, 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 really good. It's almost 30. It's like 30 years old now. This video's gonna come out, it's like 30 years old. How did they do so good with this stuff, Nintendo? That's freaking awesome. But that may be where the good talk ends for this game. It's not where the good talk ends, but got to talk about something. The difficulty. I had no clue how difficult this game was going to be. This was not my first Donkey Kong game. I played Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I've played a bunch of Donkey Kong games. None of them, in my opinion, were ultra difficult. They may have had some very difficult single levels in the game, such as Tropical Freeze's Final Battle, but none of them were, exceptionally difficult. I think they were all made very well, and I had that same expectation going into this game. But there were definitely some flaws. The jumps are incredibly unresponsive, and there's just a lot of very tight jump segments, and, a lot of tight jumps that you have to do just so to get correct, and they just didn't really work that well most of the time, which was very, very, very annoying because your lives are pretty limited and you just gotta fight through it, I guess. And just everything hurts you. That's just crazy that everything does. It does not, it just doesn't, it just really, really, and just the amount of enemies just never really lets up, in my opinion. It just doesn't, with how many enemies there are, it can just get really draining really quickly. You pair that with the bad jump controls, and it's just holy moly, what the fuck. God, this is... And that gets annoying really, really, really quickly because you don't have a lot of lives, and you get hit once and you're dead. And you can get Diddy Kong, and that gives you a couple, and you can get them back with Donkey and Diddy, and it's cool that they work both of them together. I do like that part of it. But man, just doesn't doesn't really doesn't. Oh my god, really annoyed me. It annoyed me a lot more than I thought it was going to. When I started to play the game, but there was one savior for the having to always play the same levels all over again. There's one savior. The music, baby. Banger music tracks all throughout in this game. They are really, really, really fun to listen to. Really fun. All different types of tracks, and they just slap after slapper after slap after slap. Beauty. And it never really occurred to me until I played this game how impactful good music can be for a game, even if it's super difficult or it's super long or something like that. When you have to play levels over and over and over and over again, having good music is that going to be just that much better for your mood and your impactness, and I think it's going to work really, really, really well. So that's good. That's a relief, and I definitely like that. The other thing I want to talk about is that there's a lot of bonus stages. There's a lot of bonus stages in the game too. There's that you can do within the levels and also maybe after levels. Their own separate levels. That's what I was trying to say, and all that. I think that's really good too. So that was cool. So I like that. Add just extra content onto the game. That's just another thing that we really didn't see a lot back then. And it's cool. It's kind of like a pioneer, a revolutionary piece of the game. And I definitely like that. Overall, with Donkey Kong Country, it's a very difficult game to rank for me because I can really see how revolutionary and impactful this game was with the great graphics, the music tracks, and the levels. The music was so good. This is a very difficult game, and it has a lot of flaws that are very, very impossible to overlook. So, that's going to do it, though. But it's really hard to rank this. With all the notes I had, though, overall, it's a really good game with a lot of flaws. So my final score for Donkey Kong Country, I can't give it more than a 8 out of 10. I'm being pretty generous with an 8 out of 10. Just very not fun at all. So, anyways, though, that's gonna do it for this review. If you've ever played Donkey Kong Country, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. I heard that the second and third one do fix some stuff with some pieces of the game, and that they're better than the first one. Is that true? Should I get the other two? What am I missing out on with the first one that maybe I didn't talk about? Let me know in the comments down below. So, that's going to do it for this video and for this review. Stay tuned for much more amazing content, including more game reviews and other awesome stuff. Until next time, see you guys later. Yeah, bye.